Hey everyone, and welcome to Transform Your Business Thursday. Today we are talking about moving forward and why is it sometimes feel so hard to take those steps, and even sometimes we don't know what that next step is. We don't have a clear picture in our mind as to what is the next step I take. All I know is that I am not happy with where I am. Hey Lawrence, happy you're here on the live. All I know is that I don't like where I'm currently at, and I know I want to go somewhere. Hey Michelle, so happy that you're here. We're talking about moving forward, and why is that sometimes so hard to do? We know what we want. Sometimes we're a little unclear on what we want, but we certainly, without a shadow of a doubt, know what we don't want. And therein lies part of the problem. Part of the problem with moving forward is that sometimes we just spend so much time thinking about what we don't want. We spend so much time looking at our current circumstance, where we currently are at, whether it's in your life or your business. We get so fixated on that no wonder why we're not making the progress that we want to make, why we're not moving ahead, because we're not looking in that direction. And it's not something that you're doing on purpose. It's just something that as humans we're wired to do. We're wired to look at the negative. The negative tends to stick. And it's a little more challenging to stay focused on what you want and on what is working for you. So stay tuned, because we're going to be talking more about this and how you can really begin to move forward. And it might require you to do something that you might not like, because I'm going to tell you, it doesn't feel good. I've done it, and it's not a one and done. It's something that I have to continue to do all the time, and everybody has to, because this is a journey, right? Protection mode. Yes, Michelle, we go into protection mode all the time. We just want to protect ourselves. Actually, that's also what our subconscious mind is programmed to do, but it's programmed to keep us safe and protected. And we really are creatures of habit, and we like what is familiar and known. So when it comes to venturing off or venturing out, and there's something that, is not familiar, we go into that, the walls go up, we go into that protection mode because it's scary. But it doesn't have to be. That's something that we get to choose, and it all comes back to having the awareness and deliberately choosing where you put your focus. So we're going to get started on this in just a second. For those of you who are new to me, I'm Nikki Gangemi, and I help online coaches shift their identity to thriving entrepreneurs so they can make more money and impact doing what they love. So we all want to move forward, right? We all want to take that next step. And what is it that you want? I would really love to know, what is your next step? What is it that you're moving towards? But that's something that we need to know and we need to be clear on. But the one thing, the biggest thing that's standing in your way from having the business you want, having the life you want, even getting to that next step. Are you ready? It's just the thoughts you keep thinking. That's all it is. It is the story that you have going on in your mind. It's like, I want to get paying clients. That's what I want. So I'm going to go out and I'm going to take a bunch of actions to get paying clients. I'm going to watch this how-to video. I'm going to buy this program. I'm going to follow all the steps that I'm being shown of what to do. And I'm doing it all, and I'm working hard, and I'm not getting the results. And I don't understand, why is that? But there's one thing that you might be overlooking, and that is, what is the program that's going on in the background while you're taking all these actions? What are the thoughts that you're having on a consistent basis? And are they in alignment with the direction that you're looking to move forward? Or are they completely going against everything that you consciously say that you want to do? For example, are you thinking thoughts like, this isn't working for me, nothing works for me, I don't know why it works for everybody else, what are they doing and what am I not doing, and what if I fail, and maybe this is just not meant to be, maybe I'm just meant to just stay in this job that I'm in and I just can't seem to get it right. Well, here's the thing. We create everything with the thoughts that we think. Think of our thoughts like ingredients. They're ingredients in something that you're making. So imagine, and I'm gonna go with this analogy, you guys, and I just want you to stay with me. It's going to sound silly. It's going to sound ridiculous, but I wanna take a step back from what I'm talking about with the thoughts, and I wanna go to something that is completely unrelated that we can all understand, and that's food. We all understand cooking, right? So this would be like, you are making, you want French toast, okay? You want French toast, that's what you're craving. And you go to your counter and you've got all the ingredients in front of you. And you take the dough. You take the dough and you move it around in your hands and you knead it. You work real hard, spending time kneading it, getting it in the shape that you want. Right? You're rolling it out with the rolling pin, and then you go and you take your next ingredient, you take your sauce that you made from scratch, and you spent hours stirring the pot and cooking this sauce, and you put the sauce on the dough. Then you go and you take your next ingredient, you grab for the cheese, and you are putting the mozzarella cheese, you're sprinkling it all over, and you're making it just beautiful. And then you put it in the oven, and you wait 45 minutes, and then you take it out and you put it on the table, and you excitedly go and you get your napkin, and maybe you use a fork and a knife like me to cut pizza, something I learned in California. And you go and you sit down in front of it, and you go, this is not French toast. Where's my French toast? Damn it, I wanted French toast. That's never something you would do. You would never use sauce and mozzarella cheese and dough and put it all together and expect to get French toast, would you? No, nobody would. So let's go back to my earlier example, okay? And stay with me here, because I know it's silly, but trust me. It's the same thing. Instead of wanting the French toast, you want the paying clients, right? But instead of thinking the thoughts that would serve you in getting the clients, the ingredients, think of the thoughts as ingredients. Instead of thinking someone who has the premium high paying clients, what must they be thinking? Instead of thinking those thoughts like there's clients all around, my ideal clients are everywhere, I've got what it takes, I am here to serve, I've got a lot to offer. Instead of thinking those thoughts which lead to the paying clients, instead you are thinking, and I'm not saying you who are watching, but people who want this and don't have it yet, they're thinking thoughts like, what if I fail? What if I don't have what it takes? What if I don't know enough? I don't know that I'm ready enough. I've got this coaching certification and, I'm just not ready. I think I need to learn a little bit more. And I just want to be sure, what if my clients don't get a return on their investment? What if I don't show up in a way that they need? These are the thoughts that are leading to no paying clients. And it goes back to my example of using the ingredients of the sauce and the cheese and the dough. You're going to get a pizza, because those are the ingredients that you're using. You can't use those ingredients and expect to get French toast. Just like you can't think those thoughts and expect to get what you want. Does this make sense, you guys? I know it's a little far out, but I wanted to take an example of something simple that we fully understand that cheese, sauce, and dough does not French toast make. Okay, so that is the number one thing that's standing in your way from moving forward, because you've got your eye on what you want. But then every single thought that you're thinking, good, thank you, Michelle, it makes sense. Every single thought that you're thinking on a regular basis does not support what you want. This is how we work against ourselves. This is how we self-sabotage. This is how we feel that we stay stuck in one place, or that we take, thanks Lawrence, makes total sense. Good, I'm glad, because I want you to hear this. This is how we take a few steps forward only to take more steps back. You know, this is like putting the one foot on the gas to go where you want to go, but then those thoughts seep in and it's like brake, 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 and you don't go anywhere, or you don't get very far, right? So here, this is why when people say, but I'm doing all the steps, I'm taking all the actions, I'm working so hard. That's like going back to my food analogy and saying, you know, I stirred the pot more. I put my heart and soul into this sauce, and I cooked it for hours, and I really needed that dough. I mean, I got the best quality cheese. In fact, hell, you know what? I'm gonna make the mozzarella cheese from scratch. You know, it's like that. No matter how hard you work, if that's what you're creating your French toast with, you're not going to get French toast, my dears. You're going to get pizza, because those are the ingredients. So the number one thing you could do, it's not to keep taking these actions that are just leading you to being frustrated. That's not what's going to get you to move forward. Because if it hasn't worked for you yet, it's not working, right? So the thing to do, and I know this is something that a lot of people say, that's not what I need. I don't need to change the way I think. My thoughts are not the problem. The problem is I need to build a website. The problem is I need to have a system in place to get clients. You know, they're saying all these other things, but like I said, it's like you're taking those steps to do, but look at who's doing the creating and the thoughts that you're thinking. So once you change that first, that is the secret. Once you become aware of the thoughts and those stories that you get into, when you just keep telling yourself these thoughts, they become your story. And that's your frame of reference for everything. That's how you see the world. Once you become aware of that, and you change those thoughts, and then you think to yourself, well, what should I be telling myself? It's always our thoughts. Yes, Lawrence, totally. What do I want to start telling myself? What thoughts are going to lead me to, number one, feel how I want to feel? Because that's what's going to drive our actions, how we feel. What are those thoughts? And let me think them again and again. And you know what? It's going to feel uncomfortable because they're not natural to you yet. But this is the internal work that needs to be done in order to get these different results. So that is the awareness that I wanted to bring to you today. And again, this is something, it's a little harder to do on your own. It's very much beneficial to you to have a mentor or to have a coach to help you through this. But it is something that it's consistently that you need to do. It's like you're consistently thinking whatever negative programming you've got going on right now, coming up with all the reasons and all the excuses for why things aren't working. And now it's time to tell another story. But I'm going to say one more thing, and this is really important too, other than the thoughts and the stories that you tell yourself. Before all of that, you've got to be willing to take the responsibility, to take the personal responsibility that there is no one or nothing to blame, that everything that you have right now in your life, it just has to do with you. What you have thought, the choices that you have made, the actions you have chosen to take. And I'm going to tell you that doesn't feel good. And it's a hard pill to swallow. I've done it and I've cried and it feels like crap, because guess what? We want to be right. We want to be right. To think for even a second that you're not happy with where you're at, and to think that the only thing that has held you back from what you want is what you thought, what you believed, the story that you told yourself. Well, I could tell you that doesn't feel good. It's so much easier to say, well, I'm here because of this and that, and point the finger and blame. That's just a lot easier. So it's going to take a lot of willingness on your part and courage to say, okay, where can I take responsibility? And that's where you're going to gain your power back, because it's going to hurt for a little bit, but once you breathe through the emotion and you're going to get to the other side of it, then you can say, okay, so what am I going to start telling myself? What feels good? What gets me into this feeling of I'm in the driver's seat again? And I'm going to focus forward. I'm going to focus on where I want to go, instead of, as Abraham Hicks says, beating the drum of the old story of what no longer is serving you. What do I want to start now telling myself? Lawrence, thanks for the Creating Money Coaching Program 3.0 for the support. You're welcome. And this is the kind of work that we're doing in the Creating Money Program. You can attest to this. Most of the work is your thoughts, your beliefs. Yes, I am done trying to be right. Need to switch my stories. Yesterday, it does take courage to look within. It takes a lot. It takes a lot of courage to look within. I mean, for so many years, I blamed everybody on why I got into teaching, because I was told to, because I was pushed to major in something that was like stable and certain. You know, I couldn't major in theater. You know, acting wasn't a stable thing to do. You know, and how is that helping? You know, so I became a teacher because I was told to. I became a teacher because almost everybody in my family is. And so I just said, okay, well, guess what? I was being a victim. I was being a victim for a long time. And so long as I stayed in the role of victim, that just kept me unhappy. That kept me wanting something more and settling for something less. And it just kept me every year, every day, month, week, year, saying and complaining what I didn't want, expecting it to be different, and it just stayed the same until I changed. Until I said, you know what? I'm in the role of teacher because of no one but myself, because I settled, because I was scared to play a bigger game. You know, and I'm not saying that teachers are, you know, it for me, it wasn't what lit me up. You know, it's a great job, it's a rewarding career. It just wasn't something that I wanted to do. And for that reason alone, that I was out of integrity for myself, that's why it was a problem for me. But once you do, you have that courage to look inside and take ownership and take responsibility. It doesn't feel good initially, but you move through it. And like I said, then you're in the driver's seat. That's where you have now the power to focus on what you do want. And you look forward, right? It's like, let's focus forward and keep moving in that direction. And then the steps, when you say, I don't know what step to take, I don't know what my next step is, the clarity is there. The clarity is always there, just like the blue sky is always there. It just might be covered by clouds, and your clarity is just covered by those thoughts. And that's really all it is. And I'm making it sound like it's so simple. It's simple concepts, but it's not easy to do, especially when we've been a certain way for so many years. And this is why it helps to have the support along the way. So I hope that helps you. So you want to start moving forward. The thing to do is to start becoming mindful and aware of where is your point of focus. What are you always thinking? What is that dialogue that's going on inside your mind most days, every day? And then start to change that. So thanks so much, you guys, for tuning in and for commenting. Continue to comment, post. I'm here to support you. Have a fabulous rest of your Thursday, and I will see you all next week. Bye for now.